And welcome back to the Standard Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host, Jono, and I'm here today to bring you my Super Bowl NFL playoff tradition, the Superfood Bowl. I'm here to show you the bracket, the foods that are competing to see who makes the Super Bowl, what I'll be cooking, and the beer pairings that I do with it, which are respective to the city or the state of the team. And so, without further ado, let's jump into it. All right, so as you can see, for the NFL playoffs every year, I've been doing this for over a decade now. Me and a couple close friends, we decided let's make Super Bowl time a little bit more interesting, especially when your team is not in it. Let's root for something. So why not root for what we want to cook? And we made it so that in the Super Bowl, we will cook whatever food from the two cities that city is known for will be the main two dishes. And so in the past, we've done brisket, we've done Cuban sandwiches, we've done LA street tacos and LA dirty dogs, we've done Cincinnati skyline chili, fun stuff like that every season. And it's back again here with the NFL playoffs going into today's games. And let me preview who is competing. And not just these teams, but what food items and what beer pairings. So I've chosen foods that are fun for parties, more finger foods and stuff easy to do. On top of that, the beers are breweries that I have listed that are from the cities or from the states that are really well known and do very good beer. So let's start off with the NFC side. Tampa Bay is known for Cubans. I know everybody's going to say Miami is known for Cubans. Yeah, they are too, but I'm pretty sure doing my research that Tampa Bay is the city that created the Cuban sandwich. So we're going to do Cubans for them like I did back when Tom Brady was in the Super Bowl. And Cigar City Brewing Company is who you're going to want to get. Now, all these beers, if you take a look down next to our logo down there, you see Halftime with the bottle cap. It's a great online brewing source that does deliver to the lower 48 states. And it's a flat rate shipping as well. And on top of that, they usually have a beer, at least one type of beer from every single one of these breweries here. And if you happen to be close or live in Florida and have Cigar City or regionally get Cigar City, Hi-Li, got to go get that. They're facing off against the Eagles, and that's going to be some cheesesteak sliders. King's Hawaiian rolls, fire up the flat griddle, get some cheesesteaks, some provolone, some peppers and onions. Bada bing. That's all you need. And you can't go wrong with the Yuengling. I know some people hate it. I love it. Oldest brewery in America. But Victory is another one that you can choose as well from that area. Moving down to Detroit versus the LA Rams. In Detroit, we're going to do Detroit-style pizza, some square slices here. And Founders Brewing Company out of Michigan is phenomenal. Founders Breakfast Stout's great. Any of their IPAs are amazing. You're going to like the way you look if Detroit makes it to the Super Bowl here. And then LA, we're going back to the street tacos over the Dirty Dogs. Carne asada tacos with a little fresh onion, cilantro, a nice salsa verde, and some guacamole. And you just are in heaven there. And Golden Road Brewing Company, it is a bigger brewing company, which is why I put it on there. It's a little bit more easy to get outside of just that area because smaller breweries in the LA region. If you're in LA, go with Monkish. Got to go with Monkish or El Segundo. You may be able to find El Segundo in some places, some Broken Skull IPA, Steve Austin's IPA for them. But I chose Golden Road because it has a big wide variety of beers. Their mango cart and their cart series, their fruit cart series is a nice blonde ale, wheat ale with a good fruit flavor to it. In terms of Dallas Cowboys versus Green Bay Packers, you've got Dallas Texas style brisket I'll be cooking up if they make it, and then Jester King Brewing Company, one of the top breweries in the country. They do a lot of stuff as well, both IPAs, some spontaneous fermented beers and good sours, and they serve them to some of them in big bottles, wine size as well, which is nice for parties for people to taste, little tasters. Against Green Bay with the beer battered brats, you can't go wrong with a dipped and smothered. Take the brat, boil it in beer, finish it on the grill, get yourself some Wisconsin-style cheese sauce. You get onions, peppers. Can't go wrong with that. And Lakefront Brewing Company is one that you can find on Halftime that is from Wisconsin. Obviously, Wisconsin probably not on the top 100 list of breweries, being from that area, but Lakefront is well known from that area and up in Wisconsin and highly rated for Wisconsin breweries. Moving over to, oh wait, let's not forget San Francisco. San Francisco 49ers, there's a ton of stuff. I would love to do a nice sourdough bread bowl from scratch and do all that, but we're talking about Super Bowl foods here. Not everybody, I'm not going to make one for everybody at the party, but Mission Burritos, making some mini Mission style burritos, which San Francisco is known for. And if you can get your hands on Pliny the Elder, Blind Pig, Pliny the Younger by any chance from Russian River, or any of their sour beers in bottle, go ahead and get it. Some of the best beer you'll ever taste. Otherwise, First Amendment Brewing Company from out there, you can get regionally and nationally in certain areas too as well. You can't go wrong with their Hell or High Watermelon. Let's talk about the AFC side. You've got the Cleveland Browns versus the Houston Texans. Cleveland is, we're going to do some Polish boy subs here, and we're going to do them in slider form. Polish boys are pretty much a sub sandwich with kielbasa and a bunch of fixins that go on top. I prefer to smoke the kielbasa. If you got a smoker, go ahead and do that if they're the ones that make it to the Super Bowl. And then Voodoo Brewing Company or Jackie O's. And Jackie O's is another Ohio brewing company. I used them for when Cincinnati was in the Super Bowl. And Jackie O's does some great beers, from stouts to regular ales, and their stouts are phenomenal if you happen to like them. In terms of Houston, I wanted to, obviously you could have done brisket, you could have done Houston barbecue. I know there's a big Vietnamese area in Houston as well, but I thought tamales would be a fun one to do, especially if I wanted to try a little challenge for myself. Plus, again, it's a nice party food. People can grab one or two, eat them. It's easy. And then St. Arnold's Brewing Company from Houston area is going to be the brewery that I recommend. In terms of Kansas City versus Miami, Kansas City, I'm going to do some Kansas City style ribs, make my own Kansas City barbecue if they happen to make it. And Boulevard Brewing Company, like they've made it in the past couple Super Bowls they've been in, is a Super Bowl that I would be going with here. I believe Magic... I can't remember the name of the one sour beer from them, but you can't go wrong with them. Tank 7 is phenomenal from them too as well. Look for Boulevard. You should be able to find it in most of your bottle shops out there. And then in terms of the Dolphins, we have fish or shrimp tacos out there, and J. Wakefield Brewing Company is the best in the Miami area. Get a stout from them, get IPAs, get sours. You're not going to go wrong. If you can't get your hands on J. Wakefield, look for Tripping Animals. They're another regional one too as well. And they do great sours and great IPAs too. And again, if you're not in the regional area in the lower east of the country and you want to get yourself, if you can get Cigar City Brewing Company out there, a Florida brewery out there with Hialeah, that's perfectly fine. Does not break the rules in terms of my book here. From the state is just as good from the city. And then we'll talk about Buffalo versus Pittsburgh. In Buffalo, I'm doing Buffalo chicken sliders. Buffalo wings is an easy cop out. Everybody does them at the Super Bowl parties anyway. Buffalo chicken sliders. Get your chicken tenders, pound them nice and thin, bread them up, fry them up, toss them in buffalo sauce, put it on a King's Hawaiian roll with the fixins. You can't go wrong. Other Half Brewing Company from Brooklyn is the New York brewery I'm going to use here. Finback is another one there from Brooklyn. I would also say Equilibrium or Hudson Valley are the two others that I'd put in this range. I just happen to love New York breweries, being from the New Jersey area and then having a lot of friends and family up there. Every time I go home, love to get beer from New York, but Other Half is at the top of my list when it comes to that. And then in terms of, well, again, if you could find Brooklyn Brewing Company too as well, I think they're more nationally distributed. That's somebody if you can't get anything from here. But most of your bottle shops, especially bottle shops, should be able to get some of these beers out there. And again, Halftime does have Other Half and Finback constantly on there. They also have Hudson Valley on there and Equilibrium too. So enjoy. And then in terms of Pittsburgh Steelers, the Piemonte Brothers style sandwich. I'm going to try and recreate it at the house if it happens to be the case. You got your fries, your slaw, your roasted turkey, or your roast beef, whatever style sandwich you want to do. And you can do it in slider form as well. Again, make it easy for your guests, easy for you. And then beer-wise, Southern Tier Brewing Company is one you could find here on Halftime. as well, and you're going to like the beers that they have there. They are pretty highly rated in the country. For the Baltimore Ravens, who I believe is one of the teams that can make it all the way to the final here, I'm going to do crab cake sliders. Finger food. Crab cakes are great, but nobody's looking to sit there and eat a crab cake with a fork, and making mini crab cakes isn't worth it either. So make the mini crab cakes, put it on a slider, and make a nice tartar sauce, put a little bit of horseradish in there, make yourself something delicious. You got something for all the crowd. And then Rar Brewing Company is in that area over there in Maryland, and Rar Brewing Company makes some of the best smoothie beers in the country, but they do a lot of other good stuff in terms of regular sours, ales, IPAs. But if you're looking for something interesting, if you haven't had a smoothie beer in your life, look them up. Halftime usually carries Rar Brewing Company. And if not, there's plenty of other breweries out of Maine that we can, if you want to message me, I'd be happy to give you some suggestions and find them on Halftime for you there. Again, it's a fun tradition I do. Would hope to see if some other people like to adopt it. And if you do, leave a comment. Tell me which one you're rooting for, which one you're pulling for, especially if your team like mine, New York Giants not being in it. I'm looking to see if I can do, I think my ones are going to be beer brats versus buffalo chicken sliders. And that would be Buffalo versus Green Bay. Probably not going to happen, but that's what I'd like to cook and eat on Super Bowl. All right. As always, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time.